And this lady decided she didn't want to deal with it anymore, so she was going to kill herself. It's always very dark with Tim Vigil. Well, Tim Vigil does really well on this channel, and I know you guys are big Tim Vigil fans, so I thought I might as well look at Dark Utopia. The super real art of Timothy B. Vigil. What does B stand for? I'm not sure. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at this. This is like I just recently found out there's like 7 issues of this. This is number 5. So eventually I'll get my hands on the other ones, but because I'm trying to get everything Tim Vigil if possible. But I kind of want to just go through this. From my understanding, it's just like a bunch of commissions and stuff like that. But there's also some stuff like some preliminary work as well, which is very cool. And stuff that I have not seen before. I did cover his art book in the past, so you can check that video out if you want. But this is kind of like a bunch of issues that they put out. I think like 7 issues, I believe. And I have seen this. Obviously, this is in the art book. I do like this very cool, like preliminary sketches here. Yeah, this is volume 5, and there's 7 in the series. So there you go. I don't know. So these came out in 99. So quite a while ago, but here we go with a really awesome piece on the left. I would not expect Tim Vigil to not draw something super fucking rad. I love the way he draws anatomy. It's really great. And then we get to this page where I think this looks great, but man, is he using a brush? Because those lines are very, very heavy around the figure. Very cool, though. Just kind of sitting there on his throne, and he has all the ladies around. And this lady decided she didn't want to deal with it anymore, so she was going to kill herself. It's always very dark with Tim Vigil. Very, very dark. I know this is like a character that he did a comic for, so this must have been a commission that he was asked to do. 94. I love how you can see like this, I'm guessing this is the, like, right after he penciled it, he inked, did some outline inking, and then of course this is the finished piece. I love that cross hatching around the tree and the hatching up there. Very cool. Man, the way he draws like the striations and the veins, his anatomy work is unbelievable. He talks about how his brother knows anatomy better than him, but his anatomy is unbelievable. It's just amazing. So we got more preliminary stuff. I wish there was more of this in here, but there isn't. I love how he draws, like how you can see his process. He's drawing that circle and then he's cubing it out to get the dimensions. Very cool stuff. And then he does stuff that, you know, you can see a bit of the cube there. That seems more like gestural. There's something about using white on black paper that I think is just very, very cool. And yeah, great piece there too. I would love to get a commission from Tim. And we have our preliminary kind of getting there, figuring it out. If you look at his Instagram, there's a lot of this stuff. I think it's his Instagram, yeah. And he has a Patreon too. And you can kind of look at this stuff, but I love like having it in my hands and being able to look at it. And then, of course, that ink work, unbelievable. Not afraid to use the brush or the pen, ever. I mean, it's just like I would be terrified. I'd be like, that looks good. That's my piece, sir. I mean, and then, you know, he goes in with the ink. Maybe he light boxes it or something, not sure, to keep the original. Man, just the way he has that curve of that body there, you know, you got that gesture going around. Gesture is difficult, but once you figure it out, it's you pretty much have jumped to that next level when you can figure out gesture. Love the way he draws anatomy. Female anatomy, like, everything's much smaller, obviously, but he doesn't, like, leave out a very muscular woman. He doesn't not add muscles to women. Some people, they draw women and they don't add a lot of muscle. They kind of just do stuff like this. But he's not afraid to add the muscle in the arms and the forearms. Of course, we have more very dark stuff, but I dig it. It's just, I mean, that's Tim Vigil, you know. Great drawings, great work. Love how there's that picture of Faust on the bottom there. I think it's like a picture that she got from Faust, and he signed it. Hold on, man. It's kind of off the screen, but adding a bit of color there. He always has these cool character designs. I just think they're so cool. It reminds me sometimes like of how like James O'Barr does like these cool character designs, and that's, I mean, that's an awesome piece there too. Just so cool. Got some Faust in here. Obviously, you're not gonna forget to put Faust in here. Tim Vigil's most famous character, and yeah, just awesome stuff. I do sometimes, I am sometimes thankful that I'm a smaller channel, because I feel like this would get absolutely demonetized and probably removed. So it's cool that I can share this with you guys before probably my entire channel gets removed at some point. So, but I mean, it's art, and you know, the world needs to know more about Tim Vigil, because Tim Vigil is, in my opinion, the best artist. Um, you know, he talks about Bernie Wrightson, and he's just like, man, I can never be as good as Bernie Wrightson. And I'm like, dude, do you talk about Bernie Wrightson the way that I talk about you? You're amazing, amazing artist. I like Bernie Wrightson. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Bernie Wrightson fan, but I definitely think, in my opinion, and I know this is probably going to be, a lot of people are probably going to be pissed about this, but I think Tim Vigil's a better artist than Bernie Wrightson, in my opinion. But his stuff appeals more to me than Bernie Wrightson does. I imagine Bernie Wrightson stuff would appeal to somebody who was, you know, in their prime when in like the 80s. So, but anyways, awesome preliminary stuff. Love the gestural stuff. You can learn a lot from that. I've always felt like he was a Bridgman guy, but apparently he's a Bern Hogarth guy, at least from the interviews I've seen from him. But the reason why I think he's a Bridgman guy is because if you look at some of his stuff, the muscles lock into each other like perfectly, and that's very much a Bridgman thing. Whereas I feel like, you know, Bern Hogarth is more like bubbly, if that makes any sense. There's so much like form in his work, like solid form in his anatomy, and everything kind of locks into one another and like overlaps and like beautifully. So I feel like he's a Bridgman guy, but he says he's a Bern Hogarth guy. But then again, he only said that in one interview where he's like, oh, if I need to learn how to draw hands, I just look at Bern Hogarth. I don't know, but I feel like he's more of a Bridgman guy in my opinion. But he probably is I don't know. He says he's a Bern Hogarth guy, so I'll take him on his word. But he also probably is a Bridgman guy. Anyways, we got a page from EO. I don't know if EO was coming out at the time, so he just felt like he had to add it, but yeah, dude, you know, fucks a chick to death. I mean, that's pretty much EO in a nutshell. I have a video on that, so if you want to check that out, go check it out. I also love that there's some old stuff here. Awesome drawing, by the way. There is a piece in here that I think is like Bernie Wrightson, that is clear a ripoff of Bernie Wrightson, if I can remember, or maybe it was another book I was looking at. But man, you know, I look at this stuff and it gives me a lot of hope because, you know, I mean, I think he was better than I am now, but at this time, I feel like I'm getting close. I'm getting close to that. Yeah, draws a great horse for sure. I really like his ink work. I think his ink work is unbelievable. Oh yeah, this was the Bernie Wrightson piece. Anyways, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of Bernie Wrightson in his early stuff, I feel like, but yeah, I mean this is a total just rip off of Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein. But yeah, but it's you know, Tim Vigil, and then we finish on an awesome piece where you have to turn the comic book, and It's inappropriate as usual. So there you go. And then we have this great piece back here. And a very interesting piece here. And not, I don't know what that's all about. But, and then, of course, go to www.brokenhalos.com. I don't even know if it's a website anymore. Is it a website? I don't know. I didn't check. But that is Dark Utopia from Tim Vigil. Tim Vigil is the man. My favorite artist of all time. I've become the Tim Vigil channel, I feel like, because I have a ton more books I have to cover from him. So there's more Tim Vigil coming in the future. So if you're a big Tim Vigil fan, it's coming. More stuff is coming. I have some of his earlier stuff. I have to go through Grips at some point. I think his earliest comic book he ever did, to my knowledge, published. I'm going to go through at some point as well. There may have been something before it. I'm not sure. But, yeah, Tim Vigil is just, I just love the way he draws. Everything, it just locks in perfectly and it makes sense and the form is great. And, I don't know. I just think he's the best. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want. If you don't, that's totally fine too. I just appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate the feedback and the comments from people who are really interested in talking about these outlaw artists or these guys who don't sort of get the recognition that they should. And Tim Vigil is absolutely one of them. There should be more love for Tim Vigil.